I'm with Ian, who's one of Jersey's many bloggers, among other things. Your blog is very interesting, very high standard presentation. Challenging would be the word.
Challenging.
Why do you do it? What's it all about from your perspective?
From my perspective, it's about corruption, basically.
Not in little old squeaky clean Jersey, surely?
Yeah.
What sort of corruption? People taking money and running with it, or a different sort of corruption?
Well, generally the complete lack of rule of law.
How has it affected you?
Oh, I came here with 23 years ago with basically three very petty convictions.
In the UK, the convictions in the UK, right?
Yeah. I mean, really petty stuff. It's just three things. And since I've been here, I came over here to better my life, make a future for myself. And I've got a criminal record a mile long now. And I can't virtually recall anything bad that I've done. What
was the first thing they did you for in Jersey?
Well, it started before I actually got off the ferry. They arrested me under the Prevention of Terrorism Act because I was wearing army gear, which I thought was quite incredible.
Well, 23 years ago, that was probably quite trendy, wasn't it?
Well, it certainly gets you a lift on the motorway, that's for sure.
What was the actual offence that they did? What did they say you'd done wrong, apart from just being unfashionable?
Well, that was basically it. I was unfashionable.
Were they saying that was a Jersey offence, or a...
No, they didn't like the look of me, I don't think, and arrested me on the Prevention of Terrorism Act. So
at the docks? Or...
Yeah. Okay. Searched through all my stuff.
And they punish you as a result of that?
Well, no, I was just detained for 1.5 to 2 hours.
So you were under scrutiny, so to speak, from there on?
Yes, basically, yeah.
More recently, what have you been up to more recently? Because you've had a few recent scrapes, I understand.
Well, I mean, I've been arrested a few times for basically... I mean, one night I had a pee behind the back of a van at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were locking all the toilets then on the night after 10 o'clock, I think it was. So I mean, instead of standing in the street, I went behind the back of a van, and then God knows how many policemen turned up, 10, 12, and proceeded to give me a good walloping and arrested me and charged me for urinating in a public place, violent and resisting arrest, and
from the general public's point of view, would you say there was any justification for what they were doing then?
Well, it was a stitch-up. So they didn't like me. I'd left the island for, I think it was a year or so, maybe 2 years, and when I came back, I was detained at the ferry port for an hour or so, and I'd 5 friends there who were witnesses to that I was detained for an hour, and they told me I wasn't wanted and I was free to go. And it turns out, after the walloping I got, that was the first night I was back over, they said they'd arrested me because there was a warrant out for my arrest for an unpaid parking ticket. Yet the people at the ferry terminal, the customs, they'd run a body check and they told me I wasn't wanted. So police, obviously I was being set up.
The police violence against you, are they still serving officers who are involved?
Yeah, I mean, no one's even been disciplined as far as I know, even
You've obviously complained. Where have you complained?
I've complained to every chief of police, attorney generals, you name it. But
the current chief of police, the new chief officer?
Mike Bowen, yes. I was arrested for grave and criminal assault. When was this? Christmas '95. The case is still ongoing. Actually, I served 2¼ years in jail for something I didn't do.
At the boy.
Yeah, they refused. They refused to arrest me at the scene, even though there was an allegation that I kicked someone in the head with a pair of really sturdy shoes, you know, a decent pair of brogues. So immediately I said to the police officers in attendance, I said, well, I've been accused of this. There's my shoes. Please take my shoes. Every officer refused to take them. I actually had to get two police ladies, two WPCs, to witness me get into a taxi. And obviously I logged at the station that they'd seen me get out that same taxi. I dropped my shoes off there, and then basically I went to trial 9 months later. But
the police violence against you, is that, do you have any evidence that the violence took place?
Oh yes, it's all on my blog, yeah.
You published what, photographs of yourself?
Yes,
damage,
yeah.
You published all that. And officially, what's the response to that?
Well, and it's still ongoing, but I've just had a lawyer, Barbara Corbett from Hanson Renoff. She's been looking into it, whether I've got a case to sue them or not, and she says I haven't, but...
Are you legally aided on that?
Yes, yeah.
Do you have any hopes that those sort of issues will be...
Well, no, I mean, the Attorney General, the Attorney General at the time, Michael Burt, we had the Avon and Somerset Police come over, did a 3 or 4 month investigation into the case, which had alleged that a tape recording of evidence had been doctored. The main prosecution witness statement had been doctored. That was a statement by a guy called David Snowden.
How do you know it was doctored? Because memories are faulty on this.
Because I read the original, and the three of us who were involved in that incident, we sat there laughing our heads off at this guy's statement, because he was on the head doorman there, and he said on the last page how petrifying the situation was and how scared he was. And then when I actually came to see the statement that I was given by my lawyer, which was 9 months later, took Richard Renoff 9 months to give me a copy of all the statements, which was just before my trial, and the last page read completely different.
A lot of these things would have happened under Officer Graham Power's time as Chief Officer.
No, this was Bob LeBreton then.
Oh, Bob. So
yeah.
They were predate Mr. Powers.
Yes, yeah.
So there was nothing happened during his term of office?
Yeah, there was, yeah. There was an incident when I was beaten by the police for absolutely no reason.
And was his investigation any more thorough? Did he investigate? Do you have any dialogue with Graham Power? I
didn't actually speak to Graham, no, or Lenny for that matter. I eventually got a letter from Lenny Harper saying that the matter was over. That's because I dropped the charges. And the reason I dropped the charges is because my son had come over to live, and the police had been arresting him non-stop for things he hadn't done, he couldn't have done.
More recently, you've been, I don't know if you were arrested, but stopped in the street and something's happened to you. What's all that about? Well, there's still police activity against you. Oh
yes, that's. I've joined the Stuart Siveray Club and the Ken Saw Club. What I've been doing, I've been helping people out on my blog. I've been investigating the cases for them. We're really getting under the skin of the establishment and the police. And I think they decided to go on a fishing trip. So I was cleaning up, loading up my van at work on James Street there. I just set off to go to the tip with all the rubbish, and they blocked the street off. Who were they? The police. How many of them? Ooh, at least 4 or 5, I think. They blocked the street off. So not a chance encounter, it was something they planned to do? Well, yeah, I mean, one of the cops actually said that he'd spotted me. But it's kind of uncanny how they were all there at once.
And what is it they wanted? What was the alleged offence?
The alleged offence was... good gravy, what was it? That's how they worded it. Yes, suspicion of contempt of court.
And how did that arise?
I was in court about a month ago for a bill I didn't owe.
What's a private bill or government bill?
No, a government bill. I asked the magistrate, Bridget Shaw, I asked her 5-6 times to confirm whether she was acting under her oath of office at that time.
Why was that important to know that?
Because we were finding out the jurisdiction of the court.
Because what's the doubt? What's the element of doubt for your people who are watching this?
Well,
what's the doubt? Courts are courts; they exist. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, we need to know what jurisdiction they're in, and they can change jurisdiction whenever they like. They don't even have to tell you; they just do it. And what it is, it's basically fraud on the court that they're committing because they know what they're doing is illegal.
So you asked the magistrate to
even unlawful.
Right.
So yeah, I asked the magistrate to confirm that she was operating under oath of office, which she refused to do twice. At the start of the, should we call it hearing? I suppose we can. At the start of the hearing, when your mind goes numb.
How did that become an innocent question to a magistrate become contempt of court?
Well, it was the fact that I was recording the proceedings
with a mechanical recorder, a tape recorder.
No, with my mobile phone. But I actually stood up and stated to the magistrate, I'm recording this process.
And what did she say to that?
Nothing. She could have questioned it there and then.
Did she say anything at all? Did she
no, not at all.
She didn't say stop?
Not a word, no.
Did anybody in the court say stop?
No.
So the magistrate was fully aware you were recording?
Yes, absolutely.
And somehow or other this is the reason the police stopped you? How much longer? How?
Must have been 4.5 weeks later.
Right. So were they in court? How did they become their business? Why were the police suddenly interested?
I have no idea. They told me that someone within the system had noticed I'd published the case on my blog.
So you put it on your blog? Did you put the recording on your blog?
I put the sound recording up, yeah.
So the sound's on there. How many weeks later did you publish that on after the hearing?
It was the same day.
Right, so it took the police 4.5 weeks to...
4.5 weeks, yeah.
To be motivated?
Yep.
And what happened once they stopped you in the street then? What happened?
I carted off to the police station.
Right.
I sat in a cell for 6 hours. I was interviewed. I didn't really want to say anything in the interview. Then I thought, well, blow it, yeah, let's do it. So the officer, I mean, he was a decent guy, you know. He wasn't trying to push me in any direction that I didn't want to go, you know. I mean, he was quite fair, and he said, well, why did you publish it? I said, well, there's one particular reason I published it. Is because when I was thrown in jail, the case I was talking about earlier, I was thrown in jail for 2.25 years altogether, and before my appeal at the Royal Court in front of the mainland QCs, I discovered that my child tapes had been doctored. So I got in touch with the people who do the transcriptions on the mainland, a firm called Laidlaw Haswell, and I actually received 2 faxes in prison from the boss of Laidlaw Haswell, a guy called I think it's Keith Budding, I think it was, stating that Jersey hadn't sent the original tapes for transcription, and the big spool tapes bag tagged and sealed. They usually send those, and then obviously they're opened and transcribed and sent back. The transcripts are sent back. But he confirmed in one of the faxes that they'd actually sent second-hand C90 cassette to transcribe from. And having a good memory like I do, I started recapping on things I'd said in court. And in 256 pages of transcript, I can point to the exact line in 3 instances where words are missing, and I also know what words are missing. And they were insisting that these tapes hadn't been doctored. But why are they sending C90 cassettes?
The policeman who had arrested you and was talking to you in the cell, what did he make of this information?
Well, he kind of wound the interview up then. He said, I'm going to have to look into this further. But I actually explained to him that the reason I put this on the blog is because I couldn't possibly in the future, after what had happened, expect the correct transcripts to appear.
So they took 6 hours to talk to you. What else did they do? Anything else to do?
No, not really.
Didn't charge you?
No, this.
Did they ask you for more information?
The officer said he'd have to look into it further, obviously, because of my allegations about my child tapes being doctored. I was told to wait in the interview room, and then he came in and he said, oh, by the way, we've searched your home. I said, excuse me? Under what authority? And he said, oh, we've got a warrant.
Did you see the warrant?
I actually didn't know they'd given it me, but it didn't look like a warrant to me, and it certainly wasn't signed by a judge. It was kind of a permission note, if you like.
Do you know under what law they were claiming to do the search?
No. Basically, I mean, what should have happened is they should have had an independent witness.
Was there anybody in the house when they searched?
No. The girl I live with, she was at work, so there was no one here. So therefore, there was no accounting for anything that was taken. There was no accounting for what they searched. I wasn't given a list of anything seized. Well, they call it seized, and I call it stolen.
What sort of things did they take? Do you know?
Oh, what I expected, fully expected, which was my computers.
They actually took the computer itself?
Yeah, as you can see, yeah, there's nothing there. They've still got it. 9 days later, they took my mobile phone, which obviously is essential for my work. They refused to give that back so I can get on with my work. I said, well, they said they still needed the phone, so I said, well, okay, you don't need the SIM card. There's nothing stashed on there other than my work phone numbers and friends' phone numbers. I said, could I have the SIM card back, and then I can put it in another phone, and at least I can answer my phone and get work if there's any to get. They won't even give me my SIM card. They've taken CDs with evidence on. Let me see, just bear with me a second. There we go. There are a couple of them. Police corruption, all cases complete. That's a full listing of all the cases I've been involved in. But because I've been helping,
they took a copy of that, or
I've no idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea. I should imagine they will have done, yeah.
Right. When was the last time they communicated with you?
Well, they haven't. I've had to go in and see them virtually every day.
So this was how long ago now? It must be 2 months, is it?
What, since the court case?
Since the police stopped you in the street. How long is it?
No, that was week last Friday. 9 days.
Okay. So 9 days, and have you got any idea what they're proposing to do?
Well, it's quite apparent to me they're on a fishing trip. I've been myself and Cyril. We've been helping people out with their cases. The one blog in particular, which the law officers really aren't happy about, is on my blog. How to steal a farm. the Jersey way, where we've been helping out.
Your blog is fairly outspoken. It's a sort of a parody on the local newspaper. It takes its name from that. It uses a lot of articles from that as the basis for your articles. You have some very clever illustrations and some very witty comments. It's a sort of a private eye focusing on certain areas of activity. Is it all your own work?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, my friend Cyril, he's been helping me out with, because obviously I met up with Cyril. He'd been studying common law for a couple of years, and he's obviously read both my blogs, and he's seen what I've been through with the corruption from the police and the judiciary over here, and he invited to meet up with me one day, and I got stuck into studying the common law.
The issue of taking people's information raises data protection issues, whether it's the police or anybody else who's taking them. Have you spoken to the data protection officer to find out what she might think about the police activity?
I don't think there's any point. Emma Martins, I presume you mean? Yeah, it's a waste of time. I mean, we've seen enough on the blogs about other people that have stolen information and published it, and nothing happens to them.
Is there any politician locally that you would feel that you could trust to raise these issues?
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you done so?
Just two. Roy Laharisi, I think's a really decent guy, very clever man, and he's for the people. And Trevor Pittman. I've raised a few issues with Trevor, and he's looking into a few things for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd actually plan to give him a ring today, actually. But obviously I haven't got his number, because the police stole my phone.
Okay, we will stop there, but I think perhaps in a week or so, if anything happens, you let us know and we'll come back
Absolutely,
to speak further.
I mean, they've taken two computers of mine. One's actually got nothing on, because it was given to me and it was a complete fresh reinstall, so there's nothing on there. So there's no reason they can't return that. But they don't want me on there. I don't know whether there's been some sensitive issues in the papers or on the news lately, or something they've tucked away on page 23 of the filthy rag. But yeah, they really don't want me on the air at the minute.
Okay, no.
So they've cut me off with all communication, basically.
Ciao. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.